you want to look at updating your client documentation. Update or get new signatures on your informed consent. While this is not a necessity, it's a great way to remind clients of your policies and professional boundaries. Prepare new good faith estimates for your private pay clients. Tweak your progress notes to make it more time efficient with a flow that works well for how you practice. Ensuring all documentation is up to date is not just good practice for legal and ethical compliance, but it also gives you a clear picture of each client's therapeutic journey.
Welcome to the Colleague Down the Hall podcast. This episode is sponsored by the Collab Oasis Clinical Consultation Groups. Hi, I'm Jeanene Wolf, and I'm your colleague down the hall. I have a passion for helping fellow therapists get the clinical and collegial support we all need to do this work. And wow, it just keeps getting harder every day. I'm the founder and facilitator of the Collab Oasis Clinical Consultation Groups. I have been a social worker for almost 30 years, and I own a successful solo online private practice. More of us than ever are practicing in solo or online practices, and we all need colleagues to process cases with, commiserate with on those really hard days, and also to celebrate our successes with. In this podcast, I'll bring you insights about trends and changes in our field and sit down with amazing therapists who are doing amazing work. We'll discuss fictionalized cases, ways to practice sustainably, and of course, there will be plenty of laughing. I love laughing with friends. I'm so glad to have you as one of my colleagues down the hall.
Hello, everyone. You are listening to another episode of the Colleague Down the Hall podcast. I'm your host, Jeanene Wolf, and today we're going to talk about some end-of-the-year best practices to have a thriving private practice. As we approach the end of another year, it's a wonderful time to reflect on our professional growth and prepare for the future of our private practices. Your dedication to providing exceptional care while managing the unique demands of a therapy practice is so important. As we wind down the year, I'd like to share some key tasks and best practices to ensure your business is as healthy and prosperous as the service you provide. Let's start with tasks related to client work. Number 1, review your client progress. Reflecting on each client's journey helps assess the effectiveness of your interventions and plan for future sessions. It's a celebration of their growth and yours as a therapist and can help you see areas of your work which are particularly successful or those which may need modification. Next, you want to look at updating your client documentation. Update or get new signatures on your informed consent. While this is not a necessity, it's a great way to remind clients of your policies and professional boundaries. Prepare new good faith estimates for your private pay clients. Tweak your progress notes to make it more time efficient with a flow that works well for how you practice. Ensuring all documentation is up to date is not just good practice for legal and ethical compliance, but it also gives you a clear picture of each client's therapeutic journey. And as was recently shared by Melissa McCaffrey when we recorded episode 41 about progress notes, any note is better than no note. 3, preparing for clients using health insurance. Check with all insurance clients to see if they have updated insurance information to use in the new year. You will also want to re-verify all clients and check on any deductibles, copays, or co-insurances. Review your current insurance panels. Are there any you wish to join or maybe leave? Update yourself on changes in billing codes, especially for telehealth services, and check reimbursement rates to ensure they align with your services. Consider investing in a reliable electronic health record system if you haven't already, because this can streamline your process. Next, you want to consider getting some client feedback. Gathering feedback from clients can provide invaluable insights into your practice's strengths and areas for improvement by mailing or emailing out a survey for clients to share about their experience working with you. Allow for their feedback to be shared anonymously for best results. Check the show notes for a sample form you can customize for your private practice. Now let's look at professional tasks related to working as a therapist. Okay, we want to look at tax preparation and savings. Now is the time to consult, if you haven't already, with a tax professional familiar with therapy practices. Organize all financial records, including income, expenses, and educational costs. And don't forget, if you're a member of a program such as the Collab Oasis consultation groups, this should be a tax write-off as well. Explore tax deductions like home office expenses and other things that your accountant might suggest. Additionally, consider reducing your taxable income by contributing to an SEP IRA. That's a simplified employee pension individual retirement account. As a self-employed individual, You can contribute up to 25% of your net earnings, significantly lowering your tax liability while building your entire retirement savings. Again, you want to check with your tax professional about that. Next, continuing education. Evaluate your CE credits. Do you need more before the year ends? Explore online courses or webinars that align with your specialty. Decide if there's a specialty or treatment modality you want to learn in the coming year. Get recommendations on the best trainers and courses for the ones you're interested in. And be sure to budget for this in the coming year. This not only keeps your license current, but also enriches your practice. You're also going to want to do a financial assessment. Analyzing your finances, including income, expenses, and profit margins, helps you understand the health of your practice. It guides your financial decisions and planning for the year ahead. Next, we have a business strategy review. Reflect on your client demographic. Are there populations you would like to work with or ones that you don't want to continue working with? Consider updating your directory listings, website, or social media strategy to attract those clients. Perhaps introduce a new service like group therapy sessions or workshops on specific issues like stress management. Utilize peers such as your consultation group for feedback and ideas. Don't forget that blogging regularly on your website can be great for SEO, which is search engine optimization. And that's how Google decides if they're going to show someone your website or not. And don't stretch yourself thin. It's better to show up consistently in a few places than inconsistently in a lot of places. You want to grow your know, like, and trust relationship with potential clients. And then lastly, we're going to look at professional insurance updates. Reassess your general and professional liability insurance. Does it cover the specifics of online therapy or private practice? Look for policies that offer coverage for data breaches or cyber liability if they are not already part of your plan, since they can be critical for online practices. Ensure that your coverage amount is sufficient considering your client load and the nature of your practice. Most insurance companies, if you take insurance, have requirements for these amounts. And then we also want to look at our office environment refresh. A comfortable and welcoming office space is conducive to a positive therapeutic experience, both for your clients and for yourself. Consider making updates or changes that reflect your style and the needs of your client population. Now let's look at the needs in terms of continuing to be able to do this work sustainably. First, we're going to look at networking and peer support. Building and maintaining professional relationships can lead to referrals and opportunities for collaboration. It's also a wonderful way to feel connected and supported in our field. Here are some examples. Engage more actively in a peer consultation group or in peer discussions in the places that you have access to those. Could be on Facebook, it could be in local meetings, that type of thing. Share a successful therapy technique with peers. It's always great to affirm your own skills by sharing what's working for you with others. Plan a virtual coffee meeting with colleagues to discuss industry trends or co-host a webinar on a topic of mutual interest. Number 2, mental health and self-care. Integrate true self-care into your schedule on a planned, regular basis instead of waiting until you are crispy from burnout. This might be daily meditation, weekly yoga, or regular consultation sessions to debrief and gain insights into your practice. Take stock of your mental and emotional health. This is crucial. It helps ensure you're providing the best care to your clients and attending to your own well-being. Remember, taking care of yourself is not just beneficial, it's a professional necessity. And places such as the NASW has deemed that that's part of our ethics now, that we incorporate self-care into our work. Lastly, assess your schedule to see if it still aligns with your needs. Determine how many clients you need to see each week to meet your financial goals. Determine how many sessions you can hold in a row before needing a break. And don't forget to look at the hours you are seeing clients to allow you to work at your optimal time or during the hours that work best for your family. Remember, the end of the year is as much about looking back and celebrating our successes as about looking forward and planning for future growth. Taking the time to engage in these best practices can set the tone for a fulfilling and prosperous new year. As we navigate these essential year-end tasks, remember the strength and support of your peer relationships. Part of the goal in Collab Oasis is that we have a culture of benevolence, respect, and support. And we do that through dedicating time to nurturing growth, sharing knowledge, and uplifting each other in our personal and professional journeys. Wishing you a fulfilling end to the year and a fantastic start to the next. Here's to continued excellence in our work and well-being. For everyone listening, there are new episodes of the Colleague Down the Hall podcast released every Thursday on all major platforms. Please remember, our work is hard. It doesn't have to be lonely.
Thank you so much for listening to the Colleague Down the Hall podcast. For show notes, links, and downloads, head over to colleaguedownthehall.com, where you'll be able to learn more about getting the clinical support you need and resources to help you work in a supported, sustainable way. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your therapy friends and colleagues. Subscribe to the podcast, and if you love this episode, please leave a review.